The annals of history whisper of forgotten voyages, of empires that ruled the waves and vanished like mist on the morning tide. Such a tale is that of Zheng He, the admiral who commanded a fleet unlike any the world had ever seen. His treasure ships, behemoths of timber and silk, dwarfed the vessels of his contemporaries, their hulls laden with riches and the promise of a world united. The voyages of Zheng He remain shrouded in mystery. The Western world often hails Christopher Columbus and Ferdinand Magellan as pioneers, the intrepid explorers who charted the unknown. But decades before them, Zheng He's treasure fleet had already traversed the Indian Ocean, establishing trade routes and diplomatic ties. Born Ma He, his path to greatness was marked by war and conquest. Captured and thrust into service, he rose to become Zheng He, a trusted confidant of the Yongle Emperor, commanding a fleet to showcase Ming Dynasty's might. The voyages of Zheng He were meticulously planned diplomatic missions, establishing a vast tributary system with China at its center. His ships, laden with treasures, served as symbols of imperial power and bargaining chips in international relations. From Southeast Asia to East Africa, Zheng He's fleet left an indelible mark. They returned with exotic goods and envoys from distant kingdoms. Yet the voyages were erased from official histories for centuries. Scholars still debate the reasons for this deliberate forgetting. Some argue it was due to the Ming dynasty's inward turn. Others speculate it was to suppress the Yongle Emperor's legacy. The voyages remained shrouded in obscurity, passed down through oral traditions. Only in the 20th century did scholars begin to grasp their significance. The year is 1371. In Yunnan, a boy named Ma He is born to a devout Muslim family. His destiny, like the mountain passes, is shaped by grand forces. His family carries the legacy of the Silk Road. Ma He's childhood is a mix of tranquility and turmoil. He learns Islam, with calls to prayer echoing through valleys. The Ming dynasty's armies shatter Ma He's tranquil youth. The fall of Yunnan ushers in an era of profound change for Ma He. Captured by the Ming forces, he is stripped of his childhood and identity. At 11, he is castrated and sent north, a fate shared by many. He arrives at the imperial palace in Nanjing, beginning his new life. Down through generations of seafarers. As Zheng He matures, so too does the Prince of Yan's ambition. The Hongwu Emperor grows suspicious of his sons, especially those with powerful armies. The court is rife with intrigue and whispers of rebellion. When the Hongwu Emperor dies, his grandson ascends the throne. The Prince of Yan refuses to accept his nephew as heir. He raises an army, launching a bloody civil war. Zheng He fights with unwavering loyalty. He proves to be a brilliant tactician. In 1402, the Prince of Yan captures Nanjing, declaring himself the Yongle Emperor. Zheng He is rewarded with the Emperor's trust and a monumental task, to build and command a fleet to the edges of the known world, showcasing the Ming dynasty's might and ushering in a new era of Chinese dominance. The command to build a fleet capable of traversing the Indian Ocean was a testament to the Yongle Emperor's ambition. Zheng He, ever the pragmatic strategist, understood the magnitude of the task before him. He needed ships unlike any the world had ever seen. Ships of immense size, capable of weathering the fiercest storms. The shipyards of Nanjing were transformed into a hive of activity. Thousands of skilled artisans converged, their combined skills harnessed to bring the Emperor's vision to life. Towering above the bustling shipyard, the treasure ships, or baochuan, began to take shape. These floating palaces were a testament to the ingenuity and craftsmanship of the Ming shipwrights. Constructed from massive timbers, their hulls were divided into watertight compartments. This innovative feature strengthened the ships and provided crucial safety. The largest treasure ships measured an astonishing 400 feet in length. Their decks could accommodate thousands of crewmen, soldiers and merchants. 9 masts, each towering over 200 feet, supported massive silk sails. The sails, woven from the finest silk, were remarkably strong and light. Intricately carved dragon heads adorned the prows, their eyes inlaid with precious stones. As the treasure ships neared completion, the docks of Nanjing transformed into a scene of organized chaos. Mountains of provisions, rice, salted fish, dried fruits and barrels of fresh water were loaded into the ship's cavernous holds. Zheng He, his face a mask of calm determination, oversaw every detail of the preparations. Finally, on a crisp autumn morning in 1405, the treasure fleet set sail. 278 ships sailed down the Yangtze River, leaving a trail of rippling water. For Zheng He and his fleet, the greatest adventure in maritime history was about to begin. The sun beat down upon the decks of the treasure fleet, the air thick with the mingled scents of salt, sweat and exotic spices. 278 ships, a floating city of timber and silk, sliced through the emerald waters of the South China Sea. At their helm stood Zheng He, the admiral who had risen from the ashes of conquest to become the Emperor's most trusted servant. The first voyage was a journey of exploration and diplomacy, a chance for Zheng He to test the mettle of his fleet. Their first port of call was Quy Nhon in Champa, now modern-day Vietnam. There, amidst the vibrant colours and fragrant aromas of the spice markets, Zheng He's envoys presented gifts to the Cham King. The second voyage took Zheng He's fleet through the treacherous straits of Malacca. These waters, teeming with pirates and notorious for their unpredictable currents, were a crucible for even the most seasoned sailors. Yet, Zheng He guided his fleet with a steady hand. Their destination was Calicut, a bustling port on the southwestern coast of India. The Zamarin, the Hindu king of Calicut, received Zheng He's envoys with great ceremony. The arrival of the Chinese treasure fleet sent ripples of astonishment throughout the Indian Ocean. The third voyage, launched in 1409, was a testament to Zheng He's growing confidence. This time, the fleet sailed further west, reaching the Arabian Peninsula. They made landfall in Hormuz, a bustling port city at the mouth of the Persian Gulf. Here, Zheng He's envoys encountered a world both familiar and strange. From Hormuz, Zheng He dispatched envoys to Mecca, bearing gifts for the Sharif. The fourth voyage, launched in 1413, was perhaps the most audacious yet. Zheng He's fleet sailed south, hugging the coast of East Africa. They made landfall in Malindi, where they were greeted by the local king, who presented Zheng He with a giraffe. The giraffe became a symbol of the Ming dynasty's reach. Its arrival in Nanjing was seen as a sign of divine favour. The fourth voyage cemented Zheng He's legacy as China's greatest mariner. Emboldened by previous successes, the Yongle Emperor dispatched Zheng He on his fifth expedition in 1417. The fleet sailed west once more, retracing their route to the Arabian Peninsula before venturing further south. They sailed past the Horn of Africa, a perilous stretch of water. Zheng He's fleet weathered the storms and pressed onward. Some historians believe that Zheng He's fleet may have reached the Cape of Good Hope. Others speculate they may have sailed even further west, perhaps even catching sight of the Americas. The sixth voyage, launched in 1421, was a testament to the Yongle Emperor's commitment to diplomacy. Zheng He was tasked with escorting a delegation of over 3,000 Muslim pilgrims to Mecca. The fleet sailed across the Indian Ocean, making stops at familiar ports. Upon reaching Jeddah, Zheng He oversaw the safe disembarkation of the pilgrims. He then dispatched envoys to Mecca, bearing gifts for the Sharif. While the pilgrims completed their religious obligations, Zheng He continued south along the African coast. More than merchants, the diplomacy of the treasure fleet. These expeditions were instruments of diplomacy, their objective not conquest but connection. Zheng He understood the subtle dance of diplomacy. He carried the emperor's decree to establish tributary relations with the kingdoms he encountered. Zheng He's ships sailed not as instruments of war, but as floating embassies. Their holds were laden with treasures, silks, porcelain, tea, and other exquisite products of Chinese craftsmanship. These were gifts intended to dazzle and impress, demonstrating the wealth and sophistication of the Ming dynasty. A legacy of peace trade, tribute, and the Confucian world order. The tributary system was a means of establishing a harmonious world order. In return for their tribute, vassal states would receive lavish gifts and protection. Trade would flourish, enriching both China and its tributary states. Zheng He established diplomatic ties with over 30 kingdoms and sultanates. He returned to Nanjing with exotic goods and envoys, eager to pay homage to the Yongle Emperor. The treasure fleet projected Chinese power across the globe through diplomacy, trade, and cultural vision. It achieved what no other maritime force in history had accomplished. The year is 1424. The Yongle Emperor, the visionary behind the treasure fleet, is dead. His reign had been a whirlwind of ambition and cultural exchange. The new emperor, Hongxi, ascends to the throne amidst whispers of courtly intrigue. The treasure fleet becomes a point of contention, its future uncertain. The vast expense of the voyages and the resources diverted from domestic concerns were arguments against the treasure fleet. The winds of change brought the dust of forgotten dreams and whispers of abandonment. The shipyards of Nanjing fell silent, their once bustling docks now home to cobwebs. The treasure ships were left to languish at their moorings. The Confucian scholars argued for a return to traditional values. The Great Wall would be extended and fortified. Zheng He found himself increasingly marginalized. In 1425, he was dispatched to oversee the completion of a temple complex in Nanjing. It was a final act of remembrance for a chapter in Chinese history that was drawing to a close. With the passing of the Yongle Emperor, the grand voyages of Zheng He were consigned to history. The treasure fleet became a whisper on the winds of time. The Confucian scholars saw little merit in dwelling on the exploits of a bygone era. The treasure fleet was seen as a costly distraction from the true path of Confucian virtue. Yet the memory of Zheng He and his treasure fleet endured in the hearts and minds of those who had witnessed their grandeur. In the bustling ports of Southeast Asia, India, and the Arabian Peninsula, stories of the treasure fleet continued to circulate. Section 2. A resurgence of memory. Centuries passed, dynasties rose and fell, and the once mighty Ming dynasty itself faded into the mists of time, replaced by the Manchu-led Qing dynasty. Yet the story of Zheng He, though largely absent from official histories, refused to be entirely forgotten. It lingered in the margins, in the whispers of storytellers, in the fragments of ancient maps and ship logs. In the early 20th century, as China grappled with internal strife and Western influence, a renewed interest in Zheng He's voyages emerged. Scholars began to reconstruct the epic scope and significance of Zheng He's expeditions. The discovery of the stele of Guoxige, a granite inscription dating back to 1431, provided concrete evidence of Zheng He's voyages. The inscription described the treasure fleet in detail, outlining its routes and diplomatic missions. Today, Zheng He's legacy is a complex and multifaceted one, shaped by a confluence of historical interpretations, national narratives, and contemporary perspectives. He is celebrated in China as a national hero, a symbol of peaceful exploration and cultural exchange. His voyages held up as evidence of China's historical maritime prowess and its potential for global leadership in the 21st century. Monuments and museums dedicated to Zheng He stand proudly in Nanjing, his birthplace in Yunnan province, and other cities across China. His image adorns stamps, banknotes, and even spacecraft, a testament to his enduring place in the Chinese national consciousness. Yet, Zheng He's legacy extends far beyond the borders of China. In the countries he visited, from Southeast Asia to East Africa, his voyages are remembered as a time of cultural exchange, when Chinese goods, ideas, and technologies flowed into their ports, leaving an indelible mark on their societies. Zheng He's story serves as a potent reminder that history is rarely a straightforward narrative of progress and discovery. It is, more often than not, a turbulent sea of competing perspectives, forgotten chapters, and deliberate omissions. The very act of remembering, of unearthing the stories that have been silenced or marginalized, is a powerful act of defiance against the tides of time and the forces that seek to control the narratives of the past. The voyages of Zheng He, once deliberately obscured, now stand as a testament to the enduring power of curiosity, the allure of the unknown, and the human capacity for both great ambition and profound cultural exchange. As China once again sets sail on the seas of global trade and diplomacy, the legacy of Zheng He serves as both an inspiration and a cautionary tale, a reminder that true leadership lies not in domination but in understanding, not in conquest, but in connection. As we stand on the precipice of the 21st century, a time of unprecedented technological advancement and interconnectedness, the voyages of Zheng He beckon us to look beyond the familiar horizons of our own time. The story of the treasure fleet resurfaces, challenging our assumptions about the past. Were Zheng He's voyages a fleeting moment of imperial ambition, or a missed opportunity for a lasting maritime empire? The questions linger as tantalizing as uncharted islands. Why did the Ming dynasty turn their backs on the world, dismantling the treasure fleet and its achievements? Was it a pragmatic response to internal stability, or a reflection of cultural anxiety and fear of the unknown? The voyages of Zheng He, like all great historical narratives, are not merely a collection of dates, names, and events. They are a mirror reflecting the complexities of human ambition, the interplay of cultural forces, and the enduring power of both exploration and isolation. They remind us that history is not a linear progression from darkness to enlightenment, but rather a tapestry woven from threads of both triumph and tragedy, of connection and conflict. As we navigate the complexities of our own time, a time of globalization, technological disruption, and shifting geopolitical alliances, the story of Zheng He offers valuable lessons in both the possibilities and the perils of cross-cultural engagement. It reminds us that true leadership lies not in the imposition of one's will, but in the cultivation of understanding, not in the pursuit of conquest, but in the building of bridges of diplomacy and trade. The voyages of Zheng He, though they took place centuries ago, continue to resonate in our own time, a testament to the enduring power of human curiosity, the allure of the unknown, and the enduring legacy of those who dared to chart a course through uncharted waters, leaving behind a legacy of both wonder and unanswered questions. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and share for more videos. See you in the next journey.